Hello. We're doing this. Here we go. I don't know what to wear for this video, so I think I'm just gonna put this on. No, I don't want to wear this. Hi, YouTube. How you doing there? Haven't seen you in a while. Sorry I haven't been present lately, but I'm back. Woohoo! And it's springtime, and we're doing some spring cleaning. But that's not what today's video is about. Today, what I wanted to talk about was my experience with therapy versus hypnotherapy. Now, I need to say that I am generally new to therapy. I have been seeing a counselor slash therapist maybe the last 3 or 4 years. The first 2 counselors I had, I didn't love them. I just felt like I wanted to go deeper. I tried BetterHelp this past year during the pandemic. There was an option in BetterHelp where I would have chats with my therapist. So I never actually met her. I never met her on a screen. I never heard her voice. I only had chats with her, but I really liked those chats because I actually would copy and paste our conversations, and it would help me remember things a lot more. But I have since put BetterHelp on pause. I might go back, I'm not sure, but I started hypnotherapy a couple months ago, and I just wanted to talk about the differences that I'm seeing with hypnotherapy versus regular therapy or counseling. The first difference is with identifying a feeling. A counselor or regular therapist would help put a name to them. For example, she would say, "It sounds like you're feeling excited about this. That sounds like it makes you angry." This was extremely helpful for me to identify the feeling and kind of start to separate the feeling from me, because I am not that feeling, and I am someone with such huge and big emotions. Sometimes I get really lost in my emotions, so by identifying the feeling, I'm taking a step away and I'm separating myself from the feeling. That was a great first step for me in therapy. They are like a mirror, and they're just reflecting back to you what you just said, but giving more specific words and vocabulary so that I can put these words and specific vocabulary onto the feeling. And that was very empowering for me. The downside of this, though, was that we were just identifying all these feelings, and I didn't feel like I was solving any of my problems or growing. So I'm crazy, and I have this doc in my Google Docs, and it's called Self-Help, and I regularly would copy and paste my conversations with my therapist and save them there. And here is an actual snap of what my therapist said to me. I said, "I wonder what I should do to stop feeling these things," asking for help. "Hey, can we work on maybe the next step? I want to grow. I'm ready to grow past this." And then she directly said, "I think that you have to look at the motivation behind the behaviors. You have to look at what needs you are trying to get met. You can overanalyze these things for days, but that doesn't really help me." And I really got into the habit, I think, of overanalyzing myself and my situation. I was ready for more intentional healing. I was tired of just identifying and analyzing all the time. I knew that before I moved forward, I had to stop these patterns, and I wanted help with that. So with hypnotherapy, what we do is I tell a story about when I felt a feeling, and she helps me to stop and reflect and feel where I feel that in my body. It can be a process where I stop and I close my eyes and I imagine myself and I'm in that situation and I'm saying the things that I said, and the other person said those things, and I'm feeling where in my body do I feel that. So she would help me identify the feelings, but then go almost a step further in intentional healing. I feel where it is in my body. I feel the intenseness of it. I meditate, and then I can breathe into that feeling and watch it change. There's a quote that says, if you're holding on to a feeling more than 90 seconds, The second way that hypnotherapy is different from regular therapy with identifying triggers. So again, regular therapy, becoming aware of what triggered me, identifying patterns, and analyzing why they would trigger me. Again, this process, it helps me identify the patterns and adopt more specific terminology for these feelings, and that is extremely empowering. Things that she would say to me about my triggers would be, this makes you sad. That is black and white thinking. That sounds like it boosts your ego. Sounds like you are protecting yourself. So things like that. With hypnotherapy, I'm really interested in intergenerational trauma right now, in how not to pass it down and how to heal it in myself. What hypnotherapy does is they help you to think about the feeling, the trigger that is happening, where it is in your body. And then your unconscious mind is able to bring up when you first felt this feeling and why it now triggers you. Honestly, she's been doing these things with me, but I know that I could do this by myself. But I have to create that time and space for myself. So paying someone to do it with me is like an accountability thing, because I don't know if I would do it by myself. And this is what she calls a process. And I go back to the moment when I felt this feeling for the first time. And it's usually as a child. I haven't brought up anything older than 12 years old. It's almost like our minds hold on to these shields that we're shielding against something, but that thing doesn't exist anymore. If we want, we can go back to that point and heal it and say, this isn't how my reality is now. I no longer wish to act out the habits that were caused by this trigger. All right, number 3, the tools are totally different. So regular therapy, the tool of speaking to somebody about your problems and them giving you the correct terminology and being like a mirror, is so helpful. And I noticed that I stopped talking to my family. I stopped complaining. This is why we need to hire professionals, because when you complain about your life to the people you're around, your family, your friends, if they're loyal to you, and most of our family and friends are, they will take your side and say, and feel bad for you, and almost like enabling you to continue this thought process. But they don't know they're doing it because they probably have the same thought process as you. So that's why we need a professional to tell us, whoa, these things are not true. You're going down a roller coaster. You maybe didn't know it by yourself, that you were on this thought train that you don't have to be on. And sometimes I forgot about that. The act of talking about my problems to somebody was just so helpful. I wasn't talking to my best friend about my family anymore. I wasn't talking to my family about my best friend. Just kidding. I just find that because gossip is the lowest vibration, I heard this the other day, or my hypnotherapist told me this the other day, that gossip is the lowest vibration that you could have. Just talking to somebody about it is just such a powerful tool. It's so powerful. However, my therapist, she would only recommend mindfulness to me, really. She would give me some like homework sometimes, charts to fill out, but really the only thing she would recommend is mindfulness, and it does work. Mindfulness does work. In the mornings that I meditate or I do a yoga sequence, I feel so happy to be present, but I can't always hold myself accountable, if that makes sense. I really want somebody here with me doing these tools while I'm first learning. And then with the hypnotherapy, the tools are in the session. So once a week, you're doing this intentional healing. Regular therapy sometimes just felt like venting. There is a goal with hypnotherapy. And first, we work to be aware of my feelings, and then we almost release them in a way. So in general, the therapist felt like she was recommending tried and true ways that she would recommend to all her clients. Like it kind of felt like she was a dentist, like brush your teeth, floss, like everyone needs to do these minimum things. And it wasn't as personalized, whereas hypnotherapy is extremely personalized. Some days we even don't get to a process because I'm trying to dig and find these feelings for the whole hour. I know that therapists have certain guidelines that they need to follow, like they don't want to get in trouble. There's certain things they can't say to us. And I felt like I needed more radical healing practices. Though it is great to vent about all your problems and your feelings and be heard by somebody, sometimes I felt like, oh, we're gonna talk about this feeling again. Like, we're going in circles. We talked about this like 5 times before. The problem that I'm having is still there. Whereas with hypnotherapy, I am starting to process these things that I've been holding on to since I was a child, and I'm starting to become more empowered as a person and walk in a direction of growth, of the growth that I want for myself. Those are the main things that I have noticed about hypnotherapy. I really recommend it if you can find somebody that you vibe with. The way I found my hypnotherapist is because I was just looking online and I just loved her website. Some of the quotes that were on her website aligned with where I am right now in my spiritual and just growth journey. So I'll keep you guys updated on other things that I try, because I just love this personal growth journey that I'm on right now, and I'm excited and I want to share it with other people so that others are empowered to try these things. I don't know, I'm up to trying more unconventional things too. So, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I hope that we can continue this conversation about mental health and how important it is to truly live the life that you love. You need to also not only work out your body, but also take care of your mind and your thoughts to be in line with the person that you want to be. All right, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.